Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. So it's been like 3 months, 4 months since we've done an alternate election history video. So it's been after the election, so we'll do another one. So in this episode, I don't know which episode it is. It's either episode 8 or 10. I forgot. It might be 9, I don't know. But in this episode, we're going to be looking at a what if 1968 scenario. So this is basically um a Nixon versus Johnson versus Wallace scenario. So during 1968, Lyndon Baines Johnson was the President of the United States of America. But due to health concerns and unpopularity, he dropped out of the Democratic primary after already winning it, sort of like 2024 where Joe Biden dropped out and he basically just announced that Hubert Humphrey would be his successor out of the blue. There was no primary. Humphrey secured 0 delegates. So it was very interesting. Like he didn't get actual support because he didn't earn the nomination, and Humphrey ended up losing by quite a lot. 302 votes for Nixon, 191 for Humphrey, and 45 for Dixiecrat George Wallace, who represents like the Southern racist extremists. But yeah, let's just start the video. So all of these safe Republican states, they're gonna say safe Republican. Arizona, all of these states were super Republican um, during the 1970s. Like you see some Arizona, that's only like likely lean Republican these days. So yeah, that was actually safe Republican. So this map will definitely surprise a lot of you because y'all aren't just used to it. Like, cause I mean, I doubt most of y'all like actually were alive during this time. But I feel like Johnson, would he improve from Humphrey? He was sure he got the nomination fairly, but he was also pretty unpopular. So I don't really know. Um, I'm actually also gonna put Indiana and Iowa. I'm moving them from likely to safe. Uh, Johnson, he lost the Minnesota appeal. Uh, like in the Midwest, because I mean he's from Texas. So Texas, Johnson would win it by a likely margin. It's his home state. He would win and Humphrey is still his running mate. So I'd say he also wins Minnesota by a likely margin. Um, yeah, and Humphrey kind of carries him in the Northeast, Rhode Island. Sorry, not New Hampshire. What did I do New Hampshire for? Um, yeah, these two states are actually really Republican back then. Um, yeah, I think those are it for the safe Democratic states and also the safe Republican states. Let's move on to the likely Republicans. This is Montana, South Dakota, um, Nevada, Oregon. Also, I feel like Nixon is able to move his home state of California into the likely Republican margin. Um, Colorado, sorry, not Utah, Colorado, New Mexico. These are going to go into the likely Republican margins. The South gets a bit more close. I'll say that. In some of these Wallace states, Johnson, he's a Southerner. He might win. He'll make these states kind of competitive. But North Carolina, that's likely Republican. Virginia, likely Republican. Kentucky, likely. South Carolina, with like um yeah, same list. South Carolina. Florida, that's gonna be likely Republican. And let me check the rest of these lean states to see if Nixon improves in any of them to make them likely. Yeah, Tennessee's in the South. I feel like Nixon is able to get Delaware into likely. Vermont and New Hampshire are also likely. They stay likely. Let's do the rest of the likely Dem states now. This is gonna be Maine, uh, West Virginia, and oh yeah, I forgot to put Hawaii into safe Democrat. This is kind of a blowout, not gonna lie. Minnesota, sorry, Michigan is gonna be likely Democrat. Um, barely. Um, yeah, like this is just super bad for Johnson because these southern states, like they're gonna go for Wallace. So Humphrey at least had appeal in the Midwest. Johnson has appeal in the South, but those states are gonna go for Wallace. So this is interesting here. I feel like Johnson actually loses electoral votes compared to Wallace. Um, yeah, let me fill in the Wallace states real quick. Alabama, yeah, the Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana are all easily safe. Wallace, safe Dixiecrat. Georgia's likely, and Arkansas is likely. Um, Tennessee, I feel like with Johnson on the ballot, actually Nixon actually does move it up to likely. Missouri though is gonna go lean Republican. Illinois, Wisconsin, lean Republican. Ohio, lean Republican. Johnson barely keeps on to the state of Maryland. He keeps on to New York and Pennsylvania by a lean Democratic margin. He keeps Maryland by a tilt Democratic margin. Alaska goes to Nixon by lean. In Washington, Humphrey, I feel like he had some appeal in Washington. Johnson, his Southern values, gets rid of that appeal, and Nixon flips Washington compared to Humphrey. Um, and the final two states are going to be oh, wait, DC's also saved them. I mean, come on, that's not surprising. Connecticut and New Jersey. New Jersey's a lean Republican, and Connecticut's Nixon moves it to a lean Republican. So this is a final Johnson versus Nixon map. Johnson wins 182 electoral votes, Wallace wins 45 electoral votes, and Nixon wins 311. This is an improvement from the Nixon versus Humphrey map. Nixon flips Washington from that map. So I hope you enjoyed this alternate election history episode. It's been a while. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.